You went in for two things, milk and bread. You left with 10 items and spent 40 pounds. And somewhere between the entrance and the checkout, you lost control, without ever realizing it had happened. That wasn't bad willpower. That was engineering. Your supermarket was designed, deliberately, scientifically, using decades of behavioral research to make exactly that happen. Every single time you walk through those doors, and it starts before you even reach the first shelf. The moment you walk in, you enter what retail psychologists call the decompression zone, a stretch of open space just inside the entrance where almost nothing essential is sold. Your brain is transitioning from the outside world, traffic, noise, your to-do list, into a controlled environment. For those first few seconds, you're not ready to make decisions, so the supermarket doesn't ask you to. It just lets you slow down and settle in. Then it goes to work. Most supermarkets guide you to turn right immediately after entering. Studies show the majority of people naturally drift right. So the right-hand wall, known in retail as the power wall, is premium real estate. High-margin products, maximum visibility. Now notice what's often just inside the entrance. Fresh produce, bright colors, the smell of fruit. This is not random. Starting with fruit and vegetables creates a psychological permission slip. You feel healthy, you feel virtuous, and that feeling makes you more likely to treat yourself further down the aisle. Then there's the bakery. Many supermarkets pipe the scent of fresh bread through their ventilation systems, even when nothing is actively baking. Smell is the sense most directly connected to emotion and memory. The smell of baking bread triggers comfort, warmth, and hunger, all of which make you spend more. But the most powerful trick is also the most obvious one, once you know it. Milk and bread are the two most purchased items in any supermarket. Almost every customer needs them. So where do you put them? At opposite ends of the store, as far apart as physically possible. To get from one to the other, you have to walk through the entire shop. Every additional aisle you pass through increases the statistical probability that something will catch your eye, trigger a craving, or spark an impulse buy you never planned. The store is the trap. The milk and bread are the bait. Eye level is buy level. Products placed at eye level, roughly between your chest and your eyes, sell dramatically more than identical products placed above or below. Premium brands pay supermarkets for this position. Store brand products sit lower. Children's products sit lower still, exactly where a child's eyes land. End-of-aisle displays, called gondola ends, are the most valuable shelf space in the building. They have the highest footfall, the greatest visibility, and the strongest impulse buy conversion rate. What looks like a special offer is often a paid placement. The discount is real. The coincidence is not. By the time you reach the middle aisles, something has shifted in your brain. You've already invested time. You've already put items in your basket. Psychologists call this the sunk cost effect. The further in you are, the harder it is to leave empty-handed. Discipline erodes, the trolley fills. Music plays a role too. Studies show that slower background music causes shoppers to move more slowly through the store and spend significantly more. Supermarkets don't play slow music by accident. The tempo is a variable they control, and they have the data to prove it works. Then comes the checkout. By now, your decision-making is fatigued. You've made hundreds of small choices in the last 20 minutes. Your resistance is low. So this is where supermarkets place their highest margin impulse items: chocolate, sweets, magazines, batteries. Over 65% of impulse purchases happen at or near the checkout. You didn't choose to buy that chocolate bar. You were walked to it, slowed down, made comfortable, given a permission slip, worn down, and finally presented with it at the exact moment your willpower was at its lowest. That is not retail. That is behavioral science applied to architecture. And none of this is illegal. None of it is hidden. The research is published. The techniques are taught in business schools. The supermarkets will tell you they're simply improving the shopping experience. which is true for them. The average British shopper spends around £62 per weekly shop. Studies suggest that between 20 and 40% of everything in that trolley was unplanned. That's somewhere between £12 and £25 per visit that the store extracted from you using psychology, not products you actually needed. Multiply that across 52 weeks, across millions of shoppers. That unplanned spending, engineered by layout, scent, music, lighting, and shelf position, generates billions of pounds every year for the UK grocery industry alone. So what can you actually do about it? First, always shop with a list and stick to it physically, not mentally, written down or on your phone. Shoppers with written lists spend measurably less. Second, never shop hungry. Hunger amplifies every impulse signal the store is already sending you. Third, use the self-checkout or click and collect when possible. Removing yourself from the physical environment removes the manipulation entirely. The store only works on you when you're inside it. The architecture has no power over a screen. But here's the deeper point. These techniques didn't start in supermarkets. The same psychological principles, decompression zones, eye-level placement, sensory triggers, decision fatigue, are used in casinos, shopping centers, airports, and online retail. Amazon's checkout flow is a digital version of the same system. The environment you're in is almost always designed by someone who has studied how you think, who knows that you drift right, who knows that you're more compliant when you smell bread, who knows exactly when your resistance drops. The question is whether you know it too. Because awareness is the only defense that actually works. You cannot out-willpower a system built by behavioral scientists, but you can see it for what it is. And once you see it, really see it, it loses most of its power over you. That is what this channel is about, not just surprising facts, but the hidden systems operating around you every single day, in the places you go, the things you use, the money you spend, that nobody ever bothered to explain. Understanding them doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you sharper. It gives you back something that was quietly being taken from you, your own decision-making. That's worth more than anything on aisle 7. If this changed how you'll think next time you walk into a shop, give this video a like. It genuinely helps more people find this channel. And every person who finds it is one more person who knows what's actually going on around them. Subscribe, because tomorrow we're asking a question that sounds even simpler than this one. Why does your voice sound completely different on a recording? The answer involves physics, anatomy, and a psychological quirk that affects almost every human being on the planet. Most people assume they just don't like the sound of their own voice. The real reason is far more interesting than that, and once you understand it, you'll actually stop cringing every time you hear yourself played back. New video tomorrow. Hit the bell so you actually see it, because the algorithm won't always show it to you, and that's another system working against you that we might just cover one day. You walked in for 2 things. Now you know why you left with 10. Subscribe